And that's where the story leaves us for now. Rasheeda's transformation, Mona's secrets, and Kirk's hidden choices have left the family divided, fans shocked, and questions unanswered. What will happen next? Who can she trust? You decide. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts. Tell us what you think Rasheeda should do next. What if the biggest secret in love and hip-hop history wasn't hidden from the cameras, but protected by the person in charge? Fans are shocked as whispers grow louder. Mona Scott allegedly knew everything about Kirk's secret, and when the truth finally hit Rasheeda, emotions ran high and nothing was ever the same again. The story didn't explode all at once. It crept out slowly, through side-eye glances, awkward silences, and moments fans couldn't explain at first. It all began backstage, long before the cameras ever caught it. According to insiders close to production, Mona Scott had been sitting on information that could have blown the entire cast apart. Kirk's secret wasn't just another rumor, it was something that, once exposed, would change Rasheeda at her core. Rasheeda felt it before she knew it. Friends noticed the shift first. She stopped laughing the same way. She started asking questions that didn't sound casual anymore. One cast member later whispered she wasn't crazy. She was sensing betrayal in the air. Meanwhile, Kirk was unraveling. Behind closed doors, his phone never left his hand. Messages were deleted, calls taken outside, conversations cut short the moment Rasheeda walked into the room. Emotions ran high, and the tension followed them everywhere, even into scenes meant to look happy. Then there was Mona. Sources claim Mona had already seen the receipts. Not rumors, not hearsay, real proof, the kind that makes a producer stop and think, if this gets out, everything changes. One late-night production meeting reportedly turned icy when a staffer asked, "Do we tell her?" The room went silent. Mona leaned back, folded her arms, and allegedly said, "Not yet." That decision would haunt everyone. Rasheeda finally confronted Kirk during what was supposed to be a routine conversation. Cameras were rolling, but no one expected the explosion that followed. "Why does it feel like everyone knows something I don't?" she asked, her voice steady but her eyes burning. Kirk laughed it off at first. "You're trippin', ain't nothing going on," but fans are shocked by what happened next. Rasheeda didn't yell, she didn't cry, she just stared at him and said, "Don't lie to me again." That moment sent chills through the crew. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder. Friends started choosing sides. Family members called Rasheeda late at night, warning her without saying too much. One relative allegedly told her, "If you finally drops, who will Rasheeda never forgive?" The tension didn't just stay between Kirk and Rasheeda, it leaked into every corner of their world. Production sources say Rasheeda asked for space, but space was the one thing she couldn't get. Cameras followed her into dressing rooms, hallways, even silent car rides where the only sound was her breathing. Fans are shocked watching those episodes back now, realizing the signs were always there. One afternoon, Rasheeda reportedly pulled Mona aside. "This isn't just TV to me," Rasheeda said quietly, her voice shaking. "This is my life." Mona didn't deny anything, she didn't confirm it either. She simply responded, "I understand how you feel." That response hit harder than a confession ever could. To Rasheeda, that was the moment everything clicked. Behind the scenes, Kirk felt the walls closing in. Friends warned him the secret was slipping. One castmate allegedly confronted him bluntly, "You better tell her before somebody else does." Instead, Kirk stalled. At home, the energy turned heavy. Conversations were short, trust evaporated. Rasheeda started replaying old moments in her head, times Mona had asked interesting questions on camera, moments where scenes were steered just a little too perfectly. It felt orchestrated, Rasheeda later hinted to a close friend, like everyone was waiting for me to break. And then came the leak. Not a full reveal, but enough to send shockwaves through the fanbase. Social media exploded with theories. Comment sections filled with accusations. Emotions ran high as fans debated whether Rasheeda had been protected or sacrificed. When Rasheeda finally confronted Mona again, the tone was different. "You knew," Rasheeda said, no question in her voice. Mona reportedly paused before replying, "I knew pieces." That was enough. From that point on, Rasheeda stopped playing defense. She stopped explaining, she stopped protecting anyone but herself. The family was left divided, some urging her to forgive, others telling her to walk away from everyone involved. Kirk tried damage control, but the distance between them felt permanent. One source described it simply, something broke that day and it never fully healed. And as filming wrapped, insiders whispered that the real fallout hadn't even aired yet. Because when secrets are exposed slowly, the final truth doesn't just hurt, it rewrites everything. And the biggest question fans can't stop asking now is this: Was Mona protecting Rasheeda, or protecting the story at her expense? By the time the cameras stopped rolling, the damage was already done, but the real chaos was just beginning. Rasheeda grew quieter, more observant. Cast members noticed she started listening more than talking, watching how people moved around her, how conversations stopped when she entered a room. Fans are shocked now, realizing that her silence wasn't weakness, it was calculation. One insider revealed she was connecting dots, old conversations, old warnings, even jokes that didn't feel like jokes anymore. Meanwhile, Mona's position became uncomfortable. Behind closed doors, executives allegedly questioned whether holding on to Kirk's secret had crossed an invisible line. One heated discussion reportedly ended with someone saying, "This isn't just storyline fallout. This is personal damage," and Rasheeda felt every bit of it. At a private family gathering, emotions ran high. Rasheeda finally spoke her truth. "Everybody knew," she said, her voice breaking. "And nobody chose me." The room went silent. Kirk tried to explain himself. He claimed he was protecting the family, but the words rang hollow. Rasheeda fired back, "You weren't protecting us. You were protecting you." That argument reportedly lasted hours and ended with Kirk leaving the house. Fans would later notice the shift on screen, Rasheeda standing alone more often, her smile forced, her confidence reshaped into something colder and more controlled. Friends described her as changed forever. And then came the moment that truly stunned everyone. During an unaired sit-down, Rasheeda allegedly told Mona, "I trusted you because you're a woman. I thought you understood." Mona didn't argue. She reportedly replied, "Sometimes understanding doesn't stop the machine." That sentence became the final straw. From that point forward, Rasheeda stopped seeing Mona as a protector and started seeing her as part of the betrayal. The family was left divided, friendships fractured, and alliances quietly shifted. As whispers of future seasons began, insiders hinted that Rasheeda was no longer willing to play the same role. "She's not the same woman she was before the secret," a close friend revealed. "She's stronger, but harder. And she won't forget who stayed silent." And as fans continue to rewatch old episodes with new eyes, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. When Mona knew everything and Kirk said nothing, Rasheeda paid the price, and the fallout is far from over. What happened next is what insiders say never made it to air, and it's the part fans are most shocked to learn about. After that final sit-down, Rasheeda allegedly began pulling away not just from Kirk but from the entire love and hip-hop ecosystem. Calls went unanswered, group chats went silent. One producer reportedly said, "It felt like she emotionally checked out overnight." But Rasheeda wasn't spiraling, she was regrouping. Behind closed doors, she started asking very specific questions. Who knew first? Who warned who? Why were certain scenes pushed while others were buried? Every answer only confirmed what she already suspected. The secret wasn't just hidden, it was managed. And Mona was at the center of it. Friends say Rasheeda felt humiliated realizing her pain had a timeline, that there was a window where someone could have pulled her aside, woman to woman, and chose not to. Emotions ran high as she allegedly told a close confidant, "I was reacting on camera to something they already processed off camera." That realization changed everything. Kirk, meanwhile, was panicking. Sources say he tried to repair things privately, flowers, apologies, promises of transparency. But Rasheeda had moved past anger into something more dangerous, emotional detachment. "You can't fix what you plan to survive," she reportedly told hints and a sharper edge. Insiders say that wasn't accidental, it was intentional. She learned the rules, one source claimed. If pain is content, silence is power. And Mona felt it. Meetings grew tense, conversations were shorter, the warmth between them was gone. While nothing explosive happened publicly, the shift was undeniable. Rasheeda no longer played along, and that disruption sent ripples through production. As rumors swirl about future confrontations and possible reveals, one thing is clear: the woman who trusted the process is gone. What's left is someone who understands it. And fans are left asking the question that refuses to fade: if Mona knew everything, what else is still being protected? As the silence stretched on, the pressure only intensified, and that's when things took an even darker turn. According to multiple insiders, Rasheeda began hearing things she was never meant to hear. Offhand comments from crew members, slips during casual conversations. One person allegedly told her, "We thought you already knew." That sentence alone reopened every wound. Fans are shocked knowing now that Rasheeda wasn't just dealing with Kirk's secret, she was dealing with the realization that her reaction had been delayed for the sake of drama. Behind the scenes, emotions ran high. Rasheeda reportedly confronted Kirk one last time, not with anger but with finality. "You let me look stupid," she said calmly, "not just as your wife but as a woman." Kirk broke down. He admitted he'd been warned the fallout would be worse if the truth came out too early. He claimed he was told to wait for the right moment. That's when Rasheeda allegedly asked the question fans can't stop talking about. Whose moment? That question echoed louder than any argument. Meanwhile, Mona was facing pressure from multiple sides. Some cast members felt complicit, others feared they'd be next. The family was left divided not just emotionally but strategically. People began protecting themselves. One longtime friend of Rasheeda allegedly said, once she realized pain was scheduled, she stopped giving access. That shift terrified people. Rasheeda started controlling her narrative in ways no one expected. She declined scenes, she rewrote conversations, she showed up but on her terms. Fans noticed she no longer reacted, she responded, and that difference changed suspicion. Every pause feels intentional, every reaction feels edited, and the biggest twist, Rasheeda didn't leave angry, she stayed aware, because when you survive betrayal from both love and power, you don't explode, you evolve. And insiders warn, if Rasheeda ever decides to speak freely, it won't be emotional. It'll be surgical. What followed was a shift so subtle that many fans missed it in real time, but insiders say it was the most dangerous phase of all. Rasheeda stopped confronting people. Instead, she started remembering everything. Every time Mona redirected a scene, every moment Kirk looked relieved when a conversation ended too quickly. Every instance where cast members exchanged looks that didn't include her. Fans are shocked realizing now that Rasheeda wasn't disengaging, she was documenting. She was playing chess while everyone else was still arguing, one insider claimed. At a private taping that never aired, Rasheeda was allegedly asked how she felt about moving forward. Her response stunned the room. Calm, measured, cold. "I already did," she said. That sentence sent a ripple through production. Kirk sensed it too. He tried one last emotional appeal, bringing up history, loyalty, family. But Rasheeda cut him off. "You don't get to use time as proof of love when you use time to hide the truth." Emotions ran high, and even the crew reportedly went silent. Behind the scenes, Mona attempted to smooth things over. Sources say she framed the situation as bigger than any one person, emphasizing the pressures of storytelling, ratings, and timing. But Rasheeda wasn't buying it anymore. "You turned my life into a slow burn," she allegedly replied. "And you watched me feel it." That was the moment insiders say the relationship truly ended. The family was left divided in ways that couldn't be repaired on camera. Some felt Rasheeda should have known the risks of reality TV. Others argued no one deserves to be emotionally ambushed for entertainment. Fans took sides fast. Social media lit up with clips, theories, and rewatches. Comment sections flooded with lines like, "She looks different here," and "Now this scene makes sense." The audience wasn't just watching anymore, they were investigating. And then came the final twist no one expected. Rasheeda didn't expose anyone, she didn't do interviews, she didn't leak receipts, she didn't cry on cue. She simply changed how she showed up. No access, no raw emotion, no unscheduled vulnerability, just control. Insiders say that scared people more than any tell-all ever could. Because when someone who knows the truth chooses silence, it's not forgiveness. It's leverage, and as whispers grow about future seasons, unaired footage, and stories that may never be told, one thing is clear to fans now more than ever. Mona may have known everything, Kirk may have hidden everything, but Rasheeda learned everything, and that knowledge changed her forever.